All right, guys, we're here for the football hangout, football discussion show, man. So obviously this would normally be happening on a Sunday, but basically, I was not feeling very well, so this is a bit postponed. So I think for what we're going to be doing, we're going to be breaking down, of course, the Champions League finalists, the people that made the Champions League final, the Europa League finals as well, and looking at a bit of the Clasico. So let's just start off with obviously the big competition. So since we've got Liverpool v everybody here, man, what did you make of just the performance in particular of Liverpool against Roma in that second leg? So forget the results, getting the job done, but with the performance in particular, were you happy with it? Was it based off caught between two minds of the scoreline? So what did you make of the performance? Because I know that Drifty and people were not happy at all.
Yeah, no, I wasn't either. And I think it's been talked about a lot, but I think if Roma could easily say if the manager would have had some different tactics in that first leg, or even similar tactics to what he had in the second leg of the tie, it could have been a very, very different game.
For sure.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed at all. Wasn't happy. We got the job done, but it was nervy as Liverpool tends to be, and that definitely worries me a bit. Finishing the season off with Premier League and in the Champions League final.
But I think a point that was being made is that sometimes it's hard going into a game 5-2 up. I know that sounds crazy, but it's actually a bit of a weird mind space to be, because we're all human beings. If you're 5-2 up, you're not going to be playing with that extra edge as if it's 0-0, So do you think that maybe that had something to do with it, because they had such a huge, massive lead going into the game, or?
Quite possibly, but I mean, they would have saw what happened with Barcelona. I think that's just an easy cop out kind of excuse for any fans to use. I mean, you know what it is, you know what they've done. Again, I feel like it's silly to even really complain too much about it because we got through, but it was unnecessarily nervy there at the end. And if they had a few more, it reminded me a lot of that City game, the game at home in the league, where we pretty much smashed them all game. But if they had 5 or 10 more minutes, they might have got that win or got that draw or whatever. It continues to show that we gotta be better at closing these games off. We really, really do. And I used to kind of be against yourself or anyone else who questioned Klopp's plans, the plan B, C, or whatever. But it's really true. It's true. And if that's not working. If that's not working, we just look really absent of any kind of ideas, and that's kind of frustrating. So
I have to agree on that one, because it always been the fatal flaw in Klopp's tactics, because he goes all in. There is no plan B, let alone plan C.
No. I mean, again, that's what I've always said about Klopp. But I think, despite that, I just think that at the end of the day, you know what, they won. I think that it's something he's got to really look at pertaining to the game against Real Madrid, which I think, again, look, we'll talk about that briefly. But Roma can't complain, because I think, in my view, 7-6 doesn't actually reflect the two legs. 7-6 actually is a lie, because the 180 minutes that I saw between two teams wasn't 7-6. So yes, Roma just scored 3 goals in like 10 minutes, but the way they played over two legs from Liverpool with a far better team. And I do believe that if Liverpool went into that second leg 2-1 up, I think it would have been a much more different kind of game. I think that they'd actually scored a lot more goals. So that went out to one side. So we're looking at Bayern and Real Madrid. I mean, so were Bayern unlucky? Because I don't buy into that losers mentality. So do you think Bayern were unlucky, especially with the amount of chances they created and how they dominated?
Yes, they have. Yes, they had. Yeah, I think so, because when you look at over 2 legs, Bayern were the far better team, but it was down to individual errors that had cost them dearly.
I mean, by the far better. I mean, that's a bit of a stretch to say they were the.
No, I wouldn't say so. They were. I wouldn't say that they were the much better side. That's what I was trying to imply.
Okay.
Nah, see, people lose me with that whole better team shit because at the end of the day, they don't win you nothing. You know what I mean? Like they'll say Liverpool were the better team against Chelsea this weekend. You know what I mean? But they didn't win us shit. You know, they got us dropping points. So I'm not buying into all that. And maybe they were. Maybe if they were full stream. But it's all a lot of ifs, ands, buts, and maybe they didn't win it. It's the same thing with Juve. They had the game right there. They let it go. It wasn't the ref. It wasn't the sin and all. It's none of that. It's the players switching off a mentality at a very important part in games that
That's
allow
what I
Real
was
Madrid to win these
trying
games.
to imply.
Okay.
No. I mean, but I think that's the which is why I call it a loser's mentality, because I keep hearing that narrative again and again, and it's like, even when I was watching the match, I was saying to myself that, you know what, I think it was one of the banter boys that even said it. I was like, it's as if Bayern don't really believe they can beat Real Madrid. You know, it was just something about it where, like, I was watching and I was like, yeah, they're keeping possession, they're winning the ball well, they're getting into nice opportunities and setups, but nothing really. I never really believed that they were really going to beat Real Madrid. Like, if they scored and Real needed to score, Real would just score. And it was the same thing with the first leg. Like, Kimmich scored, okay, we need to score. Marcelo just scores. Kimmich scores again in the second leg, okay, Benzema just scores. So Real always felt that if whatever happens, we can be under as much pressure as we want. If Bayern score, we will easily score. When we decide to score, we can score. Which is why what makes this team so scary is that they can almost score at will. They can almost score at will. And for me, I just feel like, if, you know, Bayern, you know, they're an aging side, you know. So, but just briefly looking ahead to this whole thing, because again, let me be real with you. Obviously, I'll be building up towards the final as we go, but I've been fully saying Real can be beaten in the final, and I'm still on that. But I mean, Salah is cooling off a bit, which makes sense because he's had such a blistering season so far. But I don't know, man. Something tells me that this has been such a crazy season, but specifically, this has been such a crazy Champions League with so many crazy things happening that, I mean, could there... because almost everybody I've spoken to have said Real have won it. And I think if you speak to any Real Madrid, the most shocking thing is that there's not one single Real Madrid fan who's even fearful. No one Real Madrid fan is actually fearful of Liverpool. Like, they're like, oh no, we don't. Everyone is already saying that the 13th is already in the bag. So I mean, so Liverpool, everybody is like, as a Liverpool fan, I mean, do you think it's an advantage that Real Madrid are so confident, or does that actually make it even scarier, the task at hand?
I don't know if I look at it as an advantage. I just feel like, you know, that's why we love this game, man. With the crazy things happen, and we have the right manager, I think, to be leading this team into a game like that where we aren't really favored to win. I'm not too concerned. I mean, there's some certain things about the team that bother me, but that's what we have. You know, we got guys missing, injured, managers leaving. A lot of things are stacked against us. But I feel like a lot of times that's where Liverpool really come out fighting and really show us, you know, what they're made of. So, listen, it's Real Madrid, the pedigree they have, the history. We get it. It's going to be a tough out. But, you know, I look to see a really, really good final, and hopefully Liverpool at the end are shocking people like they did against City.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Matos, yeah.
It's going to be a tough one to predict because we all know how good Liverpool are on the counter-attack, but Real Madrid can be a very lethal because if they score early, I think Liverpool would be very cagey. But it will be a very interesting final.
No, yeah, for sure. Machine. I hope you're a bit sober, or are you still drunk?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Okay, good. So let's even so let's back up a bit because you weren't here for the previous ones. So if you look at what Liverpool did against Roma, does that make you more confident with what Real Madrid can do, or it doesn't really matter? A final is a different game.
Real Madrid doesn't play finals, man. They win them. Doesn't matter. Fully confident.
So you don't think Liverpool pose any threats whatsoever?
You know, Salah could produce some magic and score a goal, but it's going to be 3-1 Hat trick for Ronaldo.
Interesting. Okay, Rahimski, what about you? So, looking at Liverpool, are you fearful at all as to what they could pose, what kind of danger they could pose, or you're good?
If there's one thing I learned about Jurgen Klopp, it's regardless of what you think of his teams or the players he has, you never underestimate him. That's because the thing about Klopp is he will get 110% out of a squad that most people would consider not even the best in its own league. So the very fact that he's in the European final, dismantling every team he's come up against with practically no bench and a lot of injuries, you have to respect that. For me, their midfield isn't great, but they know how to hustle. Henderson, Milner, those guys hustle throughout a match. And if you remember, Modric and Kroos got pretty dismantled in terms of physicality against Bayern. The Bayern players were just able to physically outpress them. So in that regards, I'm kind of worried. And especially with
Modric especially, I thought, Kroos can hold his own physically. Modric is getting a little bit, starting to show his age a little bit, I feel.
Yeah, so, I mean, okay, yeah, I know, but we can build up to that and everything, but I mean, let's paint a scenario. If Cristiano is injured for the final, how big of a miss is that?
Very big, because we're toothless in attack without him. Like,
huge.
So yeah, I disagree with that.
So you don't trust Bale or Vasquez or any of these guys?
It's not that I don't trust them. It's that we're so built and centered around Ronaldo in attack that we just kind of seem like we're naked without him. It's just like a different component, a different strategy that we have to deal with. It won't be as effective. So it would be a massive miss.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, so let me, Mr. Ebelu, do you have your mic working? Okay, I don't think it does. So, okay, so look, man, let's briefly go into this Europa League final here. I think Marseille are going to beat Atletico. I really believe Marseille are going to beat Atletico. So who do you see has the edge, Atletico or Marseille?
Atletico, man. No, it's not even close.
Have you seen what Payet has been doing this season?
But you said the same thing about Arsenal. I think you have a little bit of a beef.
That wasn't football reasons. Atletico. That was spiritual reasons. That was spiritual reasons. It's different. Okay. So no. I mean, no. But look, I mean, I think Atletico are the better team, but I just think that Marseille, with Payet in there, I just feel like if on that day, one-off game, I just think Marseille have something about them. I just think that they have something about them to open them up. So I mean, like, whatever you matters, Atletico or Marseille for the Europa League final?
I'd have to go with Marseille.
So you're saying Atletico?
No, Marseille.
Oh, you're saying Marseille. Okay. Interesting. Liverpool for everybody. Marseille, Atletico.
I'm gonna go Athletic, man. I think just seeing their how they were able to be resilient against Arsenal being down like that, and I think they're probably slightly embarrassed to be out of the Champions League so early in the way they did it. Last few seasons being really kind of a mainstay up there. So I think this is kind of this will be the biggest trophy they can get this season. I think they'll get it. Marseille has really been impressive, man. They have not just Payet. A lot of their guys look really good. And I think they'll put up some fight, but I think Atletico is a bit more battle-tested in these kind of competitions, so I'm going with them.
And Rahimski, what about you, Marseille or Atleti?
Honestly, I respect Payet. I respect Garcia for what he's done this season, but when it comes down to it, Atleti have Griezmann and Costa, and that's just the difference. Like, Costa is... I'm sorry, he's one of the best strikers in the world.
Oh no, for sure, he is.
Like, I don't know how Luis Gustavo and Rolando are going to be able to deal with them. Like, it's very difficult.
No, it's crazy. Okay, so let's reflect now on the El Clasico. Now, can we all agree that Barcelona are going to go undefeated? It's happening. like Levante, Villarreal, Real Sociedad. I mean, give me a break. No.
Yeah.
So that's because I think if there was a game that they were going to lose, it was going to be this game, and I think I must go back to a point that you made here where I think it is true that Real Madrid do look a bit toothless without Cristiano in there. I think it gives them an extra dynamic. But my argument is that I think Bale has been so away from the team that when he does come into the team, he seems lost because he's been on the bench for so long. I feel like if Bale played enough games and played more often, I do think that he would actually be not maybe as effective as Cristiano, but comparably so.
Well, I listen. Can I tell you something? I agree with you completely, but not as effective. But he'll always be Real Madrid's second difference maker.
Mm.
And I think he's been getting a really bad rap by the Spanish press because, they hate him for not learning Spanish and not speaking Spanish after however many years he's been there, which is a ridiculous reason to try to push him out. But it seems from watching El Chiringuito and reading Marca articles and all that, it seems to be the major beef that the Spaniards have against him. Because if you give him if he's fit, which is admittedly a rarity, if he's fit and he has consistency and he gains consistency, then he's arguably just almost as effective as Ronaldo.
Well, no, for sure. I mean, what has always held Bale back is his effectiveness. Because again, you look at that goal. That is the most vintage Bale, as in just how the accuracy and the kind of impact he can make without having to do a lot, But I think, look, in this game, man, I thought that, that Messi goal was amazing. I mean, I'm sure, what he did for that goal was pretty amazing. As in, when you just look at how difficult it was, how he was able to get past both Ramos and that dude and put it right in the bottom corner. I just thought that was a pretty amazing goal. So,
I mean, that play shouldn't have even happened, though.
Yeah, it shouldn't have. It shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have even happened, bro.
Yeah, Varane was easily look. The ref.
It's a little dink to the side. Come on, let's not go overboard. It's a little dink to the side.
Look, Machine. It was a very good goal. Let's be. It was a very good.
It was a good goal, but so was Ronaldo's. Was Ronaldo's shit? Was Ronaldo's a shit goal?
Wait. You mean in the Clasico?
In the Clasico, the build up and he hits the back heel and then he goes on to finish it. You think that's a shit goal?
No, but still, that was just a tap-in, man. At the end of the day, it was a tap-in. So come on, we don't know. But my thing is that I still feel that for Real Madrid, I think they really wanted to beat Barcelona, but I do think that even if they didn't have Cristiano in the team, I still think playing against 10 men you should. But at the same time, if this was Luis and Enrique managing 10 men, I think Real Madrid win. But I think Valverde is such a good coach that I think when Barcelona went down to 10 men, they were almost more effective because Valverde is so good defensively. Because the amount of time that Barcelona quickly got the ball up direct and were able to cause them issues. Because as good as Ramos has been, I think Ramos was looking a bit shaky in how direct Barcelona were to playing.
Yeah, he was bad in that game for sure. But you know what impressed me the most about the way we played in that game? It was our effective one-touch, two-touch passing, and the partnership between Marcelo and Benzema was out of this flipping world in that game. And then once Asensio was subbed on, the partnership between him and Marcelo was a little shaky. And that's kind of what we were attacking them mostly through the left flank, and when Ronaldo was subbed off, it was just a different game at that point.
Okay, I saw people on Twitter raving about Benzema. I saw him lose a lot of balls that he could easily.
No. Benzema completed 98% pass accuracy that game, and he made 16 forward passes that game. I thought he had a great game personally.
Okay. So let me ask you guys this then: if Barcelona go unbeaten, I mean, how would you rate that feat since it's never been done in La Liga before?
Pretty good. Pretty good, but not anywhere near as impressive as winning 3 Champions League on the trot, man. Come on.
Rashid,
Yeah,
you realize that you haven't actually done it. You know, really have not actually done it yet.
No, but we're going to do it anyway. I mean, if we win the Champions League, this Barca season is pretty much no one would talk about it. No one cares. That's the thing, though.
Oh no, but like look, guys, I can't honestly believe that a team is going to win it 3 times in a row. I just think that the laws of nature and the universe can't allow that to happen, which is why. Look, I'm not going to give my prediction yet, but I feel that something special is going to happen in our final. Put it this way. There is, because I was just talking to a guy about it, conceivably, it could be bad. As in, if Liverpool somehow don't get their tactics right, it could be like 4-1 or even 3-1, which would just be...
Yeah, if they play like that against Chelsea, like if they do that against in the final, they're getting...
No,
but
this is the Champions League final.
No, but see, FFG, that can't happen. See, let's even talk about that Liverpool-Chelsea game. Klopp doesn't have a plan B. If you don't give... And you look at that Liverpool-Chelsea game, once Liverpool... Before a goal was scored, Liverpool were the better team. They had the better chances and they were really giving Chelsea issues. As soon as Chelsea scored, Chelsea sat deep. You sit deep against Liverpool, they don't know how to play against you.
No, but the thing is, the same thing could happen in the final. If we score first, we pretty much can sit back and pretty much...
No, but FG, Real never sits back. That's not Zidane's tactic. It's not his tactic.
Yeah, what are you talking about, bro?
Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but we start games pretty poorly. And Liverpool, on the other hand, start games pretty brilliantly. So it's...
That's why I'm telling you. That's why I'm telling you. Salah scoring, opening he's scoring the first goal, and then it's going to be a Ronaldo hat trick. I've seen the future.
No, a Cristiano hat trick isn't happening because I've seen the future, and that is not what happens. No, but look, I mean, but that's why I think that Liverpool Chelsea game should not have any bearing against Real, because Real will give Liverpool space 100%, because Real just only play one way. Real are not a defensive team. Zidane is not.
No, but the thing is, we can defend well. I mean, look at the game against Bayern.
No.
As
That's
a team, we can defend well.
No. They can defend well. They're not defending well. Doesn't mean that you're a defensive team. Like Ramos, Varane, and Casemiro are good defensive-minded players, but they're not a team that sits back.
Yeah, you're right. And Marcelo can be a little bit of a liability.
No. HH, I'm going to give you a specific example. A lot of Liverpool fans have been saying that Trent's form has been a little shaky recently.
Yeah.
The way we attack, you know this. I don't have to tell you this. You know this already. But we have Marcelo and Ronaldo pretty much just destroying that flank. So I don't know how Trent is going to deal with that with 2 people.
No. Look, this is what I was trying to explain to the Banter boys. That what worries me is Trent and Robertson are both young dudes. The best flank guys they've had to face was Man City, and fair enough, Sané was kept quiet. But you're facing perhaps the most dangerous flanks in the world, i.e., like Cristiano and Marcelo are the 2 of the most dangerous flank pairing in the world. So a young dude going up against 2 of the most dangerous, effective flank dudes in the world is worrying. But again, football is football. You just never know. It could be one of those games where it just doesn't click for Real. And because it's a final, I think that maybe the final could just somehow mentally, psychologically get the best out of these young dudes. Because trust me, if they show their youth, it's lights out. It's lights out. Like literally, Real Madrid will have a fielder, and it could get nasty. So, but I just don't believe it will. I don't believe that will happen. I just don't believe that will happen. I just think that Real, look, they'll get this. They'll get this. They will skin them a few times, but I don't think it will get bad. I don't think it will be embarrassing. I just think that because it's a final, everything will tighten up.
Oh, yeah. Come on!
Look, both teams are going to have chances. We know that, and it's really about, for me, if Liverpool take advantage of their chances, if they take the chances that they can get, whether it's given or whatever. If they can do that, because we got to deal with the dark arts that Real Madrid has involved themselves in. So with that,
it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle of the difference makers. It's going to be, I hate to get all like media about it, but it's going to be really Salah versus Ronaldo.
No. I don't think so.
You could look at Mane, man.
I don't think so.
You could look at Mane. You could look at what Firmino does. You could look at what Mama.
You have to remember, Klopp gave us the best footballing Champions League final we've ever seen, 2013. Just from a pure footballing perspective, that was probably the best final. And if he can produce that again from a tactical perspective, who knows what they can do?
Yeah, I mean, that's why. I mean, because the key thing that you're looking at two psychologists, because at the end of the day, Real Madrid, I believe, just look. Everybody wants to win a Champions League, but let's not kid ourselves. But let's be real right now. Yes, Real Madrid need this, but if Liverpool screw up, they don't beat Brighton, Chelsea and Tottenham take care of business. Then things become. Then it's like, oh, Liverpool really needed to win this as much as Real do.
No. But no, I don't believe that. We're desperate for this. We're desperate. If we don't win this, this is probably one of our worst seasons in history. Probably one of the worst.
The difference is Liverpool have to. I don't know if you agree with this, HH, but I'm just gonna say it. Liverpool have to win within 90 minutes. Because if it goes extra time, I'm sorry, we just have too much. Like
no. True.
Too much psychologically, I feel.
Yeah, both psychologically and our bench is like it's too deep, man. Their bench is not that good, so they have to win within.
Well, listen, here's the thing, man. As long as like fucking Ronaldo and Ramos are in that team, they incite such a winning mentality that it's going to be very tough to beat Real in a final. It doesn't come down to like technical aspects and tactics and any of that. It's the X factor. You know what I mean?
But you have to respect them. They have the best attack in Europe.
No. But I think what Machine said is what I was trying to explain to the Banter boys, which is that a final is not like a semi-final or a quarterfinal. It is the most unique game that you have in the whole tournament. Like a final really is about mentality. It isn't about tactics or like every final I've watched hasn't been like, oh, this team was tactically better. It's about just what your mentality is, especially if it's against two pretty closely matched teams like Real Madrid, Valencia back in the early 2000s. Like, look, Real were just easily the better team. But I think this is mainly about I just feel like for Liverpool, they can't shake the fact that you're facing a team who've done this 3 times already. That has to be at the back of your mind. And no matter how much they want to escape from it, there has to be a slight inferiority complex of like, we are facing guys who are very comfortable in this environment. Not one single Liverpool player has ever been in a Champions League final.
And even beyond that, like if you notice, HH, when Liverpool win, they'll just like throw everything at you and win through goals. But when it comes to Real Madrid, we like sometimes we strive in adversity. I don't know how often Liverpool come back to win a game when they're down. I don't see that very often from Liverpool. That's
the advantage that Real have, because Liverpool normally score when they have the momentum. Real can score with the momentum and they can score without the momentum. So Liverpool could be really playing really well in that game, had a lot of chances, then out of nowhere, boom, Marcelo just hits a ball, boom, goes into the top corner.
Yeah, exactly, like Bayern. But let me ask you something. What's a more impressive feat than Liverpool winning with this team or Real winning it on the trot 3 times? I think Real.
How's that more impressive than this Liverpool team winning it? How?
How's it more impressive?
But you have to look at the
because
past.
nobody's ever done it, and Liverpool's like it's not like Liverpool's Monaco, or you know what I mean, or it's not like it's like a 3rd-tier team. It's a European. I wouldn't call it a giant, but it's a European powerhouse.
No. Did you know what? You know what? I would say Liverpool because
me too.
If Liverpool beats this Real Madrid team in a final, that they've been so strong in, and it is this team that is this stacked, I'm going to give it to Klopp.
It's obviously more impressive. It's not even close.
I mean, our current squad is arguably one of the best tournament squads in the history of football. But when you look at that Liverpool team, I'm sorry, if Klopp wins it without a bench, that's
Thank you.
Immense. That's
No,
immense.
but look at the other side. Look at the path the teams went to get here.
True.
Oh, no. That's very true. But actually, at the same time, it is still Real Madrid that have that crazy team.
Yeah.
Have you seen what Henderson looks like? Come on. So it's like a team with Henderson, Milner, two bloody fetuses at right back and left back. Carriers. Do you know how crap that guy is as a keeper? So come on. Like, Klopp is carrying some semi-bricks in that team.
Yep.
So it's like, if you're to win a Champions League with semi-bricks, I mean, that's you could have given.
Well, but listen, Real Madrid would win with a full-on brick named Benzema, if that were the case.
Okay, fair enough. That's one full-on brick, but one full-on brick is still better than like about 6 semi-bricks. Like, no, Lovren is a full-on brick. Karius is arguably a brick. Milner is a semi-brick. Henderson is a semi-brick. So it's like, come on. So I think that this team who have no bench, literally, they don't have Danny Ings. So if
Double H, how are they going to beat us then? You said half the team is semi-bricks and they have no bench. I can't see them beating us.
Answer that question. That's a great question. Let me answer that question. I just believe that because it's a final, I do believe that we are. I think something magical could happen because everything is up. Everything points to Real winning. Footballing wise, Real should win. People, man for man, they should win. Experience wise, if you're using your head and your brain, they should win. But I just feel that, first of all, Klopp has lost like 5.
No. He's actually won one final. He played 6 finals and won 1 in 2013. In 2012 against Bayern.
So I think that number should change. I think maybe this is like, to lose 6, 7 finals. That's just mad. So I just believe that. First of all, the game is catered to Klopp's tactics. That's the first thing, and I just do believe that Liverpool being such overwhelming underdogs, Juventus weren't like in the finals that this Real Madrid team have faced. This is the most overwhelming underdog that they will face. Remember, when they faced Atletico the first time, Atletico had already won the league. When they faced them the second time, okay, they were under, but
people actually were giving Atletico more credit in 2016. People actually picked Atletico over Madrid.
Yeah. So they did it, and also Juventus were underdogs, but you're still dealing with the Serie A champions. Liverpool are struggling to get into a top 4, and a dude called Henderson is their captain. So it's like, and again, look, I feel like, I mean, Henderson and Milner against Kroos and Modric, I don't know how that works personally, but Henderson and Milner are bloody English hustlers. Because one thing that the English know how to do is run. Okay, nobody runs or works harder than the bloody English for footballers. So,
I was just going to ask you, HH, do you think fatigue is a factor? Because let's be honest, like Liverpool have games to play for outside of the CL. We really don't. Like, you know what I mean? No. Basically, Liverpool screwed up against West Brom because they have to beat Brighton. Like they need to win that game. Like Real, like the league is already done and it's done, it's finished. So
yeah, we can pretty much play our second team.
You know what's weird, man? As soon as Ronaldo left the Clasico, semi-injured or whatever it was, and was saved, I thought, all right, that's in the bag. All right, so the Champions League is in the bag then. I don't know why I felt that, but like just the fact that he was robbed of the opportunity to seal the deal. You know, it was because people try to portray that Clasico as not meaning anything, but really it does. It meant a lot. You know, it meant a lot because it was the one opportunity that Real had to sort of rob the unbeaten streak.
It's meant a lot. It was very meaningful because of that.
And you saw that, and you saw the way that the players played, and that's why it got so aggressive. Is because of how much it meant.
HH, hypothetically, if we were to win convincingly, where do you see us in the pantheon of tournament squads? Like this squad compared to any other?
Top of the pops, man. I'm sorry, it has to be.
You think we'd be better than that Spain squad?
No. I mean,
don't even go there.
Wait. No. I think if no, look, you have to put them as one of the best easily. Like as far as Champions League and even no, because you put it very well. As far as a tournament team, if Real win convincingly, I mean, my gosh, you have to say this is one of the greatest tournament teams of all time. Like, it's very hard to say which is the greatest because
it's some Di Stefano shit. It's like a callback. It's like it's a callback to the Di Stefano era in the modern context. You know what I mean? Which would seem impossible.
This is definitely better than the Di Stefano era because there's more harder competitions.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, cool. They were playing against bricklayers back then.
They were only like 8 teams back then. So
they're playing against like Juju Man back then. Like,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, him basically.
Wait, Double H. What about Zidane's spiritual powers? I mean, this guy. He's got spiritual powers. There's no way. You have to think about that too. No,
guys. Let's be real here. So just imagine, because I still believe that Real are not going to win 3 in a row. I refuse to believe. But let's just, for argument's sake. So Zidane is a World Cup winner, a Euro winner as a player, a La Liga winner as a manager, and could potentially win the Champions League 3 times in a row. That is insane.
I agree.
You know the crazy part is he could be the new France manager also.
Oh my god!
In the future.
No, but that's not gonna happen until he gets tired of Real or gets kicked out.
To be fair, he's considered leaving Real this summer. Because he's fatigued.
But can I ask you something? When you sum everything up, I think he's in for a shout for the greatest football man of all time.
Beckenbauer?
No, let's not even. What?
I'd still say Beckenbauer.
But you know what I mean when you add his career as a footballer plus manager.
Yeah, it's him, Beckenbauer.
No. For me, it's still Beckenbauer because Beckenbauer won the Euros and the World Cup for West Germany as a player. He won the World Cup for West Germany as a manager. He won trophies for Bayern Munich as a player and as a manager. Literally, Beckenbauer won everything.
He invented a position in football.
The thing is, Zidane is pretty much on the cusp of doing that also. I mean,
but Beckenbauer also invented a position in football. So it's like,
no.
Are you guys putting Zidane over Cruyff now?
No. That's why he's a horse because Beckenbauer, footballing wise, is no joke, man. Like, no, but look, man, I think
he's his only rival. From what we're
no, basically, like the guy that's closest to usurping him would be Zidane. But I think Zidane would need to win something with France, and then it's like, okay, we can then talk. But look, man, what he's done for Real, and a lot of guys insulted him, man. A lot of guys were like, look, man, what's this guy? And like, remember, guys, it normally doesn't work like this. An amazing player never makes it as a successful manager. It never happens. So Zidane has actually already broken that mold because Zidane is one of the greatest players of all time. And for him to be so successful for Real Madrid is crazy because that's just not what happens. Check out Maradona.
But you know why Maradona feels so, but here's the thing. I think that this Real Madrid, the reason why they're so solid is because of the, you know, when you have the number one figure in Real, which is Ronaldo, whether you like it or not, I know you hate him.
Mm-hmm.
And that number one figure is the first guy in training and the last to leave, and he's, you know, viciously competitive.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of thing gels and is contagious with the rest of the players. And all you need really, in terms of coaching, is a totemic figure like Zidane.
You know what? You know what's the perfect example?
I like how you guys bring up Zidane, but not Guardiola.
A perfect example of what you're saying is the impact Jupp Heynckes had this season, taking over Ancelotti's disheveled squad and immediately having an immediate impact on that team. Like, honestly, I think since Jupp Heynckes is retiring, I think we have to pay that guy like an immense amount of respect.
Yeah,
because he literally almost won the treble without a full season.
No. Look, as I said to people, like, for Bayern, they're getting too old. Okay, Ribery is turning 87 next year, and he just signed a 1-year contract extension. So
yeah, but he was killing it. He killed it against Real, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, Jupp got the best.
At the end of the day, I'm sorry, you cannot be relying on a 35-year-old to beat Real Madrid. I'm sorry, that's not how it works.
But Double, if you rely on Robin, I mean, what's the difference?
Robin is different. Robin is different.
No, but HH, you know, like I started watching you in 2013, and the first review I've ever seen of yours was the 2013 final, and I remember you saying that like that team at their best, that Bayern team is just unbeatable. The way Javi Martinez plays in the pivot, you have prime Robin and Ribery, but I think it boils down to Jupp Heynckes. Like that guy's tactics, his ability to get that squad with 6 major injuries.
Oh no! It was hidden for me. Like that's
I believe in Heynckes. I believe in Heynckes.
No, for me, basically, over the 2 legs, Heynckes did all that he could.
Yeah.
All the manager can do is I'm giving you guys the blueprints to create chances and to try and avoid as many chances in opposition as possible. And Heynckes did his job over 2 legs. Now it's up to Lewandowski, who flipping flopped in both legs. Muller,
the Polish fart.
What?
Correct? The Polish fart.
Look,
he's no longer the Polish nuke. He's been downgraded. He's been downgraded to Polish fart.
I'll admit he flopped. I mean, like, because Bayern had amazing opportunities to beat Real, and it's like Real defended very well. Let me grant Real defended very well, and it's like, my lord, if you're gonna have 2 huge mistakes like that, I mean, what the hell can you do? But let's just quickly come back here to this final right now. For me, this is my argument for Liverpool.
Wait. I just have one question.
Oh God, what?
Wait, what are your thoughts on Liverpool fans being confident heading towards the final? Do you think they're like going overboard, or is it like normal?
No. I mean, no. Any Liverpool fan that's confident is insane. I think the Liverpool fans who are, I mean, the Liverpool fans who are, okay, they are, I mean, well, you can say confidence, but it's confidence based on, what they believe in their strengths. Because, like, Matt from man like Matt from the Banter Boys, he believes that Liverpool are going to win the Champions League, but he recognizes through the Real Madrid poses, but he says, you know what, I believe in my team, and Real Madrid are not unbeatable. And there is a footballing argument for Liverpool to beat Real Madrid. If Roma got to the final, I'm not watching that flipping game.
No, but the thing is, that's never been knocked off in the Champions League.
Well, let me just ask the Madrid fans: if you all lose on the 26th of May, will you be on the Hangouts afterwards?
I'm always here.
I might.
If you lose, you must come to the flipping hangout. Don't do that crap, because you have been extremely confident. So if Liverpool you have to bring your ass in, man.
I mean, look, HH, like the majority of my life, we played second fiddle to that Barcelona team, and I was there. How old were you, man? 12? No. I mean, I'm saying, like, like we weren't always as dominant as we are now. So, I mean, I'm gonna be here regardless if we win or lose. I'll always be here with my team.
Before you move on, real quick, why does nobody talk about Bayern's journey to get to where they got in the Champions League and how they play against nobody in the Bundesliga? Why does nobody talk about that?
And this is the reason why Bayern have always had issues for so long. Because let's rewind ourselves back to when they won it last in 2013. That was when Dortmund were very competitive. And who did they meet in the final? Dortmund. Based on how good Dortmund were that season, that actually gave them a proper title challenge. Mm-hmm. Since then, literally, Bayern win the Bundesliga by August.
Yeah.
Or September. By September, they win it. And that is very harmful, because it is very difficult to go from smashing teams 3-0, 4-0, beating them by the 60th minute to now facing Real Madrid, PSG, Chelsea, and so forth. So I think it is always a very difficult thing. And I think that has damaged Bayern for going forward. So even for a guy like Lewandowski, mate, you can score 30 goals in the Bundesliga. But because you're playing against easier defensive setups, when you're not going up against a Ramos or a Casemiro, who are far higher IQ defenders, you come undone, because you're not used to playing against defenders who their positioning is better, their awareness is better, their tackling is better, and their awareness of your movements is better. That's why Lewandowski was like, whoa, this is not the guy we see every week in the Bundesliga.
But that's the thing, I was never fully...
Sorry, what time? I'm going to go to Liverpool, Machine, then Rahimski, Liverpool.
But more importantly, he's playing against guys that don't fear him. And that's a bigger, I think, issue to talk about. It's not even about better defenders. It's guys that really come head-to-head and say, oh, it's Lewandowski? Okay. I mean...
I don't think it's not necessarily true that they don't fear him, because he did score 4 against them when he was playing for Dortmund. But
we're not talking about Dortmund though. We're talking about right now, buddy.
I know.
I know what you're talking about, but okay.
He scored. Lewandowski scored 4 against Real Madrid.
Okay.
Yeah,
when he was playing for Dortmund,
like 3 billion years ago. So
Okay.
But carry on.
But yeah, even when he did that, I was never fully convinced about Lewandowski. You know, I never thought he was everything that people sell him as. But don't get me wrong, I would kill to have him in Real Madrid instead of.
We don't promote murder here on the Hangouts, please. Thank you.
To be fair though, some of the blame has to also be levied towards Muller and James Rodriguez. But at the end of the day, I just have to remind you guys, Keylor Navas was a fucking Batman in that game. Like, he was just everywhere.
Okay, wait. Let me ask you guys about this then. Should Navas still be sold?
Yes.
Why?
Wow.
He has his shaky moments.
He's still like one of the best keepers in the world, but there are better keepers out
No,
there.
he's not. He's not one of the best keepers in the world, man.
No,
he's very uneven. Very uneven.
I think he's top 5.
The thing about Real Madrid,
FG. Come on. Okay, so you're telling me that Navas is better than De Gea, Courtois?
No.
He's definitely better than Courtois. He's definitely better than Courtois.
Flipping Neuer. What's your
Oblak,
Alisson. Come on, man.
HH, just on pure ability, sure, but like Real Madrid demands consistency, and I'm sorry, but Navas is not that consistent for us.
Well, no, but I think like because I was reading something like about this whole Navas will he stay, will he go, and I think one of the key things it says that the players like him.
Yeah.
So, because actually this guy should have been sold like years ago based on just how desperate they are to sell him. But I think
he won't be sold, by the way. I'm sure he'd be happy to compete for his spot.
HH, that's the only reason I didn't think he should have been sold. When people were talking about it, like De Gea this, De Gea that, I think locker room stability is more important sometimes than getting that extra bit of quality. You know what I mean?
No.
But recently,
if you have a good rapport, it helps. It helps.
It does. But recently, I think he's been committing too many mistakes. He's too psychologically weak. He doesn't really exude confidence.
This is that he makes a mistake, but he makes a key save, and at the end of the day, Real Madrid are playing a Champions League final.
No, but thing is, there are keepers who can make key saves but make less mistakes than Navas. That's the thing, though.
You're gonna call me crazy, but I would actually rather take Oblak than De Gea.
Yeah, Oblak.
Because I honestly I think Oblak is better. I'll just say it. Like, fuck.
Have you seen the kind of saves De Gea has been making
in what, the Premier League?
No. But look, it's all the Premier League only once, but to be named consistently the best player for 3 seasons and you're the keeper means you're doing something very, very, very good.
But I think he's conceded. I think he's conceded more goals than Oblak has, because Atleti have only conceded like 16 goals this season.
Do you know how good Atletico are defensively? United's defense is horrible. True. Like, basically, that just shows you how good De Gea is, because literally De Gea is consistently having to face shots because United's defense is like a flipping prostitute. Everybody goes in and out. So
De Gea wins them half of their points every season. I mean, he's the reason why they get.
But you know what? I still think that Neuer is the best goalkeeper in the world.
Neuer is the best goalkeeper of all time, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean,
just on pure ability, just on pure.
You know what it is, man. I've never seen in my lifetime a difference maker in goal, and he's that. More than Buffon, more than any of them I ever saw, you know?
No, but let's be honest. Neuer has better attributes than Kahn. Like, Kahn was obviously a legend in his own regard and achieved so much, but when it comes down to pure ability, Neuer is like a freaking cat, and he's like...
Yeah, and the notion that, like, it's impossible that if Neuer wouldn't have been in goal, that that games wouldn't have turned. You know what I mean? He makes the difference. He really does, and consistently. You know what I mean? It's
no. It's a beast. No, it's a beast. So, so just to basically round things off again. We're not really going to give a scoreline, but for this Liverpool and Real Madrid game, so just tell me, do you think it's going to be a close game or it's going to be a landslide? So let me, FG, do you see a close game or a landslide?
I think it's going to be similar to last year. First half be close.
FG, easy.
Second half, because I don't know. I think it'll be similar to last year's game. I just have a feeling.
So it's going to be a landslide.
Yeah, it's probably going to be like 3-1 to us.
That's easy. I didn't ask for a score. Relax, man. Damn. Okay, Liverpool for everybody. Landslide, or do you think we're going to have a close game?
Landslide for Liverpool.
Okay. Wow. Machine.
I think it's going to be it's going to be razor's edge until the 60th minute, and then it's all going to turn in our favor and landslide from then on.
That's interesting. Okay, Raheemski.
A high-scoring, close game.
You know what? I believe that the game is going to be very tight. I think that because I've seen this scenario before. I think it was almost too obvious that it's going to be an open game because you have two very attacking teams who like to give space. But I believe because of that, they will both nullify each other. And because they're so fearful of what each other can do, I think everything will pretty much tighten itself up. But I am swinging towards what Raheemski is saying. I do feel like if at a certain point in the game, something will turn. And what worries me is that Salah seems to be going off the boil right now. And what would be really disheartening is if in the biggest game and the biggest stage, Salah lays an egg. That would be the awful thing. Guys, I'm out. I will see you.
Hey, before you end it, I just want to say quickly, Sir Alex, get better. You're the greatest.
Yes, please, Alex, please get it better.